One of the most frequently asked questions if you're working alongside sales team is, why is our sales up or down? There are so many ways to answer these questions, by location, by product, or by salesperson. Or the conventional way using price, volume, and mix. Is it up because we are selling more volume? Or is it because we're increasing our prices? Or is it because we are selling different mix of product? More of the expensive ones or less of the cheaper ones? Now, after playing around with so many waterfall charts in Power BI, I came to realization that creating sales waterfall showing the impact of price, volume, and mix in one sales waterfall chart is a little bit trickier. It is not easy and straightforward, as we will need to first create relevant measure and then use spatial waterfall chart to visualize the measures. In this video, I want to show you how to create a sales waterfall, which is not the typical standard waterfall. A standard waterfall is something that explains sales movement by year, by product, for example, which could be a dimension that exists in the model, or maybe by city, whatever your typical dimension. What I want to show you today is how to create a sales waterfall based on key drivers, which you may need to calculate using a measure. For example, over here, I have sales waterfall that show my starting sales and my finished sales, and I have movement based on mix, based on price, and based on volume. And all of these three things in the middle, they are measures. They're not exactly fields or dimension that exist within our data model. And how can we create this? I'll show you how to do that using a custom waterfall. Let me step it through one by one. This custom waterfall tells us why sales has gone up from 2,800 in 2021 to 4,900 in 2023. And there are three key drivers: mix, price, and volume. Let's go through them one by one. What does mix mean? If we look at the bar chart over here, we can see that the mix of products sold has clearly changed in 2021 to 2023. In 2021, we sold more of product C, and in 2022 and 2023, we sold less of product C and more of product A. And what's the difference between product A and product C? Product A is cheaper than product C. So naturally, if we are selling more of the cheaper product in 2022 and 23, it has an adverse impact in our total sales. That's why there is a red bar chart over there. On the contrary, for price and volume, we have green bars. Why is that? Because price movement is deemed favorable. So if you look at prices in each product, for every year, the price has gone up. In 2022, it's higher than 2021 for product A, also higher for product B and product C. Although for 2022 and 2023, the prices for each product are held constant. But in comparison to 2021, for all products, they're more expensive. That's why we are seeing a green bar over there. And then in volume, we can also see that for all products, if you compare 2023 versus 2021, we are selling more, well, except product C, where we sold just the same. But in totality, 18 versus 9, it is definitely more volume being sold, and that contributed to higher sales. First, let me show you our data model, which is really simple, just one fact table, and all the measures has been grouped in the measure group table. And let's have a quick look at the data. Again, really simple. For each year, each product, I just have one row showing units, price, and sales. And as you can see, really, really simple table. I forgot to mention earlier that this waterfall is quite versatile. There is an option to select financial year. If I click 2021 and 2022, then this waterfall is showing sales movement from 2021, which is 2,800, to 2022, which is 2,450. And if I select 2023 and 2022, then it is showing the movement from 2,450 to 4,900. And if it's selecting 2021 and 23, likewise 2.8 and 4.9. And if everything is selected like this, it's showing the first, which is 2021 as the start, and the finish is the last, which is 4,900. So quite versatile. You can choose any combination that you want. And for now, let me just select 2021 to 2022. So you can see the starting point is 2,800 and then the finish over here is 2,450. Step 1 is to create 4 basic measures: units, sales, price, and mix. For units, it's a simple calculate functions referencing our tables, which is our sales data, and we're just doing a simple filter where the measure name is equal to units. Once we have done that, we want to create a measure for sales. Again, a simple calculate referencing our table, sales data optimize, and we're adding a simple filter that says the measure name is equal to sales. Once we have done that, then we can calculate price. Price is sales measure divided by units. And then we can also calculate mix. And mix is basically unit divided by total units. So for instance, when we are visualizing this information in the table over here, you can clearly see the units by product, the price by product, and the sales by product. And the mix, this 22% is essentially 2, which is the unit for each product, divided by 9, which is the units for all products. And that's how you get 22%, 2 divided by 9. And 33% is 3 divided by 9. I find it really useful to visualize the measures that we have just created in a table format to make it easier to sense check. Alright, next let's look at step 2, which is defining key drivers in period 1 and period 2. What's period 1 and what's period 2? So period 1 is defined as the minimum year and period 2 is defined as the maximum year. So when declaring my measures, I'm starting with defining the year, which is the minimum year. And then in this instance, the minimum year will be 2001 because we only have 2 years selected. So have a look over here, that's a selection. We only have 2 years selected, 2001 and 2022. So the minimum year will be 2021 and the maximum year will be 2022. So which means that in here, I'm simply saying P1 mix will be the mix associated with, there is a filter in here that say year 2021 or the minimum year. And the same for price, exactly the same thing. I'm just saying calculate price where the year is equal to the min year. And then likewise for units, I'm saying for units, calculate units when the year is equal to the minimum year, which is 2021, plus one more filter criteria, which is all products, which means just give me the total for all products. Yeah. So if we visualize that in a table, P1 mix is the same as 2021 mix. Can you see that? And P1 price is exactly the same as 2021 price. And the units, the total units, is the same as the total units in 2021. And likewise for 2022, which is associated with period 2 or the maximum, you can see 2022 values for mix is the same as period 2, price is the same with P2, and then also the total 9 is the same over there. Next, let's look at step 3, calculating total sales when each key driver inputs are modified step by steps. How do we calculate total sales? Let's look at step 0 over here, which is our starting point, and the starting point of the waterfall journey is year 2021. I have here a variable being defined for derived sales, and it's using SUMX. The first input for SUMX is values, open bracket, table sales data optimized products. What this means is get me a unique list of products that is present in this table. And then after that, for each product, we are going to perform this calculation, which is P1 mix times P1 total units times P1 price. Okay, what does that mean? It means for product A, which is the first product, we're going to calculate P1 mix, which is 22%, times total units, which is 9. 22% times 9 give us 2, which is the number of units. And then after that, we're going to multiply that with price, which is $100. 2 times $100 will give us the sales of 200. And that's how we calculate the sales associated with product A. So I'm going to repeat one more time. The mix, P1 mix times total units times price will give us total sales. Get that? Once you get the concept, you will understand why in step 0, where everything is referencing P1, the output of total sales of our start is the same as year 2021, because all the inputs that we use is basically coming from P1, and P1 is 2021. When we move on to step 1, which is mix, we are changing one of the inputs to reference period number 2. So in here, the P2, instead of using P1 mix, we're going to use P2 mix, which is 44%, and we will multiply 44% with P1 units, and then we're going to multiply it with P1 price. And the outcome that we get is this step 1 mix output. Yep. And then after that, we will go to step 2, where we will reference not just mix referencing P2, but also price referencing P2. So we are changing things one by one in each of these steps, such that by the time we're in step 3, which is the final step, every input is referencing P2. And what is P2? P2 is the maximum year. In this instant, P2 is the year 2022, because we only have 2 years, and the sales outcome will be the same as 2022 sales. Can you see that? And that's how we know that we have done our calculation correctly. That's basically step 3. And then step 4 is to calculate the waterfall values, start, finish, and the steps in between. And how do we do that? We should start by defining S0, which is the start, and the start is really equal to the previous steps, the start. So they're exactly the same. And then S1 mix is basically the difference between step 1 and step 0, which is why the value is just step 1 mix minus step 0. And you can see in here, the value is really 400 minus 200, 600 minus 600, which is 0, and then this 1000 is the difference between 1000 and 2000, which is why we get a negative. So that minus that give us this. And then for S2 price is the difference between step 2 price and step 1 mix. That minus that give us this column. Yeah. And then the same with volume. Volume is step 3 volume minus step 2 price, which is this minus that, and give us all 0 in here, because there is no difference in volume in 2021 and 2022. And then lastly, the finish. The finish is really just the finish, same as that, and that's the same. Now we have the inputs for our waterfall, and if we want to sense check it, 2,800 minus 800 plus 450 plus 0 is equal to 2,450. You know that it adds up, and that's how you know that the waterfall calculation has been done correctly. Step 5 is to create the waterfall charts. Once we have created all the measures, this is going to be an easy step. What we're going to use is a custom visuals called Simple Waterfall. If you haven't had Simple Waterfall in your visualization pane, then what you need to do is get more visuals, click that 3 dots, and then click get more visuals, and then just type Simple Waterfall. Then just click it, okay? Now, once you have done that, then you will have this button. If you already have the button, then click it. And then all we need to do is simply click and drag. What are we going to drag? We are going to drag all the waterfall values, measures that we have just created earlier. Just click and drag, or just press that tick button. Once you have done that, you will see that all the bars appear over there. We need to define which one is going to be the pillar, the start and finish. and then which one is going to be the steps in between. So just click that format your visuals and then click define pillar. So for the start, it needs to be pillar, and then the things in between, they are just the movement, so they're not pillars. Okay, so I'm going to leave on for start and finish, and then the bits in between, turn it off. Once you have done that, then let's change the color. I'm going to change blue into gray like that. Now it's looking similar. Next, the heading, the chart heading, I don't really like that. That's not informative. So we're going to look at the headings in general, title. Okay, we are going to rename that Sales Waterfall. Okay, now they're looking similar except the x-axis. So the x-axis, I want to call this start, finish instead of S0 start, S1 mix. How do we do that? Very simple. Just go to values and then just double click it and then simply type start. Mix. Now notice something. When I change the name, the color change. Yeah, that becomes green and green. I need this to become a pillar. Don't panic. Click the format your visual, define the pillar one more time, and then just make the start and finish a pillar. And voila, it is now looking good. The next thing that I want to show you is how to create a subtotal in between. So for example, in here, we have the start and then the mix and then a subtotal, which is the start plus the mix. How do we do that? To do that, you need to create a measure. I have here a subtotal measure, which is the sum of the start and the mix. Once you have created that, all we need to do is add that to our waterfall. So I'm going to just click this waterfall over here and then click and drag, or just hit that tick. And then it's now at the end. I want to drag it and put it in the middle after mix. And then I'm going to rename this subtotal so that it's nice and clean, but that need to be converted into a pillar. So what you need to do is go define pillar and then turn the subtotal into a pillar, and voila, all done. I hope you find this video useful. See you next time.